Chapter 23. The chapter about the elephant. The one who is well trained. Queen Magandiya, who had been rejected by the Buddha, bribed the crowd and slaves to abuse him and the monks when they came to town. Venerable Ānanda urged the Buddha to go elsewhere, but the Buddha answered that they should be resolute and spoke about himself in these verses. 320. Like an elephant in battle endures an arrow shot from bow, so will I endure abuse, for many people are unvirtuous. 321. They lead one trained into a crowd. A king mounts one who has been trained. Amongst humans, one trained is best, the one who can endure abuse. 322. Noble are the well-trained horses, the well-bred horses from Sind, and the greater tusker elephants, and even more noble than that is the one who has trained himself. The best of training. A monk who had previously been an elephant trainer saw a man struggling to train an elephant and successfully advised him on his task. When the Buddha heard about it, he rebuked him and advised him on what really needs to be trained. 323. Not by vehicles can one go to the place beyond destinations. As one through training himself well, being trained by the training goes. Remembering one's duties. Some children who were previously negligent later gave a meal to the Buddha and the Sangha and related how they now took care of their father. The Buddha recited a Jataka relating how he too had cared for his parents and spoke this verse showing how he would not eat until he was allowed to attend to his duties. 324. The tusker, Dhammapada, in rut, difficult to restrain, bound, he doesn't eat a morsel. The tusker remembers the forest. The lazy one is always reborn. King Pasenadi at one time in his life always overate and suffered the consequences of torpidity and drowsiness. He went to the Buddha who taught him this verse. He also taught another verse for his attendant to recite, which would remind the king not to eat so much. 325. When one is torpid, overeats, sleepy, and rolling on the bed, like a great pig fed on fodder, that fool comes to the womb again. Training the wandering mind. Sanu was a novice who, when he recited the texts, attracted even the deities to listen. But when he reached manhood, he grew discontent and purposed to disrobe. His mother persuaded him to continue in the monastic life and take his higher ordination. This is the teaching the Buddha gave, urging him to control his thoughts. 326. Formerly this wandering mind wandered through desire, pleasure, happiness, but today I will control it wisely, like one with goad and elephant. Always protecting the mind. An old elephant waded into a lake one day and didn't have the strength to extricate himself until his former trainer, dressed in battle array, and beat the drum. The pride of the elephant was such that he immediately pulled himself from the water. On hearing the incident, the Buddha urged the monastics also to draw themselves out of the quagmire of passions with this verse. 327. You should delight in heedfulness. You should always protect your mind. You should raise yourself from this pit, like the tusker sunk in the mud. Live with the wise or alone. Owing to the Kosambi monks falling into an argument, the Buddha retired to the Pārileyaka forest and was served by an elephant. After the rain's retreat, Venerable Ānanda, being urged by the great disciples, went to invite the Buddha to return to Savatthi. The Buddha explained that he had a good companion in the elephant. But without such like, it is better to live alone, and he spoke these verses. 328. If you find a prudent, wise friend or a companion who lives well, overcoming all your troubles, live with that one, glad and mindful. 329. If you find a prudent, wise friend or companion who lives well, like a king who abandons his conquered kingdom, live alone like an elephant in the forest. 330. It is better to live alone. There is no friendship with a fool. One should live alone and not do wicked things, unconcerned like an elephant in the forest. The good things in life. The Buddha was reflecting on whether it is possible for kings to rule the world with justice. Mara, finding this out, came to the wrong conclusion and tried to tempt him. The Buddha explained what is truly good with these verses. 331. Friends are good whenever need arises. Being content with everything is good. At the breakup of life, merit is good. Abandoning of suffering is good. 332. Respecting mother is good in the world. Also respecting one's father is good. Respecting ascetics is good in the world. Also respecting true Brahmins is good. 333. Virtuous conduct till old age is good. The establishing of faith is good. The acquisition of wisdom is good. Doing nothing wicked is also good.